Hi, good morning. Welcome to CIG Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. This is Peter from Cyber Intrusion Guard. Every day we break down two of the top cybersecurity news. We explain why they matter to your industry or organization. And as a value proposition, we highlight practical steps that you can take right now to reduce your risk. Let's jump into today's top stories. Our first story for today concerns the Queen ransomware operation, which is observed to be exploiting a high severity vulnerability within the Palo network operating system software. This vulnerability is tracked as CVE 2026-0257 and affects the Global Protect VPN virtual private network configuration settings. When this setting is enabled, an unauthenticated attacker may be able to bypass a normal login web portal and establish an unauthorized VPN connection to gain access to the internal network. And of course, after gaining access, the attacker may invariably do things like harvest credentials, move laterally between systems, disable security settings, and eventually deploy the ransomware. In some reported cases, attackers actually steal private or sensitive information before encrypting the system, an approach known in cybersecurity as double extortion. So what does this story mean to you or your organization? Well, let's turn this headline into two practical actions that you can take right now. So first, if you are a Palo Alto network user, you should be identifying any vulnerable global protect systems and check if authentication override is enabled. Then apply the appropriate Palo Alto network security updates. Next, you should be investigating your VPN activities because just patching the vulnerability does not actually remove it. An attacker who already have access to your internal network. The key takeaway for this story is that firewalls and VPN gateways should not only be treated as security controls. These are internet-facing systems and are valuable targets. Hence, they must be patched and monitored carefully like any other critical systems in the network. Our next story today concerns an ongoing operation that's reportedly targeting public-facing Salesforce and ServiceNow portals. So according to this report, attackers are using custom-built tools to extract information from the Salesforce cloud site and the ServiceNow service portal. So what makes this interesting is that the attacker does not necessarily need to steal a password or to compromise an employee's account. These platforms, by default, allow organizations to give unauthenticated visitor access through what is known as the guest user. And if this guest user has been given excessive permissions, an attacker may well be able to automate thousands of requests, collect exposed records, files, as well as support cases on these platforms. The issue being described here is not necessarily a vulnerability within the Salesforce or ServiceNow platform. The underlying problem is that some organizations may have unintentionally made too much information available to anonymous visitors. So what does this story mean to you or your organization? Well, let's turn this headline into two practical actions that you can take right now. So first, you need to be checking your Salesforce and ServiceNow logs for unusually high volumes of guest activities or automated requests. And second, you should be fixing excessive guest permissions. And you can do that by reviewing the service rules for guest users, the permissions on access fields, as well as public APIs. So the key takeaway to this story is that public access does not mean unrestricted access. If a guest user is able to retrieve sensitive information, you can well believe that an attacker may automate that process to access information at scale.